So this is the first ever run for the stealth bomber Trommel. Trauma. um, so this should be pretty interesting. Really, really excited. So we're going to go ahead and take off on the quad bike, and we're going to bring it down to the creek. And we've got a very long hose. We can access the what we need to, and if we need to run up from the top of the hill, we can do that as well. I've just got to reply to it again. And we're going to off now because we've got the trommel here, and we're going to go ahead and get it set up. And got Nervous Rider here helping me do a little bit today, so that'll be good. So we're going to take off now and see how it goes. Hold on. You got it? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yep. Okay, great. All right, so we're basically, let's see if I can get a better angle view here. Pretty much ready now. So, let's see. Ah, fuck. I've come off the hinge. Sorry. Yeah. Um, actually, yeah, just take one of the blue ones off there. Okay. What is it, Ellie? Tucky. Just it's got to be able to come off again though too. Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you for that. Okay, cool. All right, we're ready to take off now. There we go. Hey, okay, it's hauling pretty good. So the real test will be getting it down the embankment. Oh, it's okay. I want to see how it goes on the actual thing. Yeah, just actually, I'll pop it in here. Oh no, that'll be fine. Yeah. Okay, let's look back and see how we're doing. Okay, so we're just on a bit of a steep incline here, so I just want to see what's happening. the rest of it. Okay. All right, okay, so we're over that. That's good. Okay, now what I'm thinking is I can run in one of two places, actually one of probably many places. Um, there's some material up here, but what I'd really like to do is I'd like to get it down closer. So we're going to try and get up this hill, and then we'll see how we go. Oh, good. Excellent. Okay. All right, so we made it. So now what we're looking at doing, we're going to go ahead and switch that off for a minute. So what we're looking at doing is oh, good job. Excellent. Fantastic. Okay, so we are nearly ready to take the stealthy down in. What I'd like to do is get a grader coming along here, and it's actually probably a nice little spot to where I can just slip it down right in along here, slide it in, but that can come later on. I think for now, what I'd like to do is we've got Trommel 1 just submerged. Huh? Oh, no, it's all good. Yeah, thank you for that. I do appreciate your help. Okay, I can't be too long today because I've got someone, Trommel 1 is submerged. But look at all that water. It's going to be a good day. So the challenge is getting Trommel set up over there. So we're going to have to figure out how we traverse all this mess. But I am definitely thinking we can get a little draw coming through here, little road, and we can get her set up fairly close, or we can start maybe working a different area. But we just have the material sitting over there. That's where we're digging. So the question is, how do we get over there? I do want to work fairly close. One other idea is we run the material uphill, and we just want to kind of be a little bit covert how we do that. So let's just have a look and see what we can do. What I'm thinking is we just want to set up to where we're relatively close by. Maybe I can get some brush and just put it around the machine. Probably even some tin, I reckon. This is actually giving us a really good view of the bedrock here. This is where I've been working previously, and some of the tailings and stuff. But this over here on this little embankment, that's going to be stripped away and worked. And once we get down to the bedrock, we can probably get some really good stuff. The whole idea is to get it all worked down, so that way Another idea is if I got a grader in here, we could just get a bit of a road happening down over here. Thank you all so much for tuning in, by the way. But I'm going to come down here, just have a quick look what's going on. Okay, so this is the line here. And I'm going to refrain from using word pay or anything like that. So all this has got to be pulled out of there and worked. A lot of clays and things. So question is, how are we going to get this down here? It may not be able to down here. We are getting a bit of a deluge happening in another couple of days, so I may be just taking bucket loads up from here and working it up on the hill, up on the bank. So I suppose the only way to really do that is we'll pull it, we'll bring the trommel around, and I'm going to park it probably here so we can start running the material. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And all of my friends from India, thank you so much for the belt idea. Many very beautiful uses we have. Okay, we have adequate water supply, so I think all that's left to do now is just get over there and start working. Okay, so let's see. Don't want to be walking too far. I'll go ahead and might even just leave it linked up because I do want to take it back into the shed today, into my little shop, and see if we can do some more further modifications. But I'm going to be running it flat, and got a little bit of test material in there. But the whole idea is, for anyone tuning in, these mats trapped on the outside are going to catch the good stuff before it leaves the trommel. We'll end up with some material here. I do have a little retention ring for the liquid, but this is giving me ideas too, because what it may simply be is that we just keep it up on the bank, run it on the bank, and yeah, it's a little bit more work. We have to come up the hill with the material, but we can do that with little half buckets, so that should be okay. Now, what I'm going to do though is go ahead and set up the tripod. And this is all good because, you know, we gotta work all these kinks out before we really get going. So, okay, I got our tripod set up here. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to unlock the centrifuge. And we're going to get all the piping unlocked as well. And I'd really prefer a bit of tarpaulin to sort of put over this unit. So we're going to maybe think about that for a minute before we go gung-ho and get started. If I had some tree branches, I'd like to lay them over the unit, but it's the dead of winter and all the tree branches are just bare, so actually that's not quite the case. There's some over here, so come with me. Okay, because we got a stealth unit, we want to help it be stealthy as possible. So it's going to kind of help us give us a little bit of camouflage. Okay. Okay. All right. I think I'll be getting myself a tarp. Or two. Hope everyone's having a beautiful day. I most certainly am. And we will commence the trommeling very soon. How does it look? Well, from afar, probably not going to know anything. The whole reason behind this is I don't want to attract attention because I have gold here. I don't want people thinking that they can just come into my creek and take my fucking gold. You know what I mean? So you kind of gotta be clever. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and stick our pump in the water. I'm gonna get that hooked up. Okay, pump is in the water. And let's see how far we can push this. Okay, water supply. Okay, now, gotta think. Battery. I need a battery because I haven't quite figured out how to use my telekinesis to power things by force of will. So, that's okay. I'm working on it. It'll happen one day. Battery for the pump. Okay. Alright, so here goes nothing. Need to get some tape around this. Oh, don't go in the water. Come on. Don't need to get electrocuted before I even begin. The birds are laughing at me. Okay, so these are early days. They're going to be advancements that I'm going to engineer that are going to get me a lot quicker around these problem areas. I haven't quite figured out just yet, so that'll be fun. Okay, so in a moment we'll engage the pump. Ready in 3, 2, 1. Okay, it's running. For how long? I don't know. Okay. Pump is running. And let's see if we got any water coming out there. And it can't be too long because the dude for the Atari is coming soon. So, all right, it's working. So we're going to go ahead and turn on the trommel. We shall be ready very soon. Okay, looking good. About ready to run some material. What? She's yard. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, thank you. All right, wish me luck. Okay, come over here. Pretty good feed rate. The water, it's not terribly strong, but again, that's okay, because eventually we're going to figure that out. Eventually, we're going to get a much stronger pump. So let's see how we go. Are we going to bog down? Are we going to bog down? I don't know. Let's have a look. Oh, we did. But this is why we got a tensioner arm built. So I'm going to engage the tensioner arm on the trommel. That's going to help power through. See? Also, when you come over here, we kind of have a look at this retention ring on the inside, which might be holding on to a bit too much material. So I think what we might need to do, we might need to just pop the ring out. What do you reckon? Getting everything clean though. Can't deny that. Taking that ring out. Now everything can flow through. You got to remember, this is unclassified material. There's all these other variables we need to figure out. The tilt angle of the trommel might need to be a little bit more extreme. There's a few other things we need to figure out too. Flow of water. We also want to consider very much at this stage classifying the material down to 1/4 inch, because that's going to help with the motor, that's going to help with the gearbox and everything, and the flow of material coming through. So I'm going to go and grab some classified material this time and see what we can do. So I'm going to grab a classifier and see if we can make do. That's right, buddy. That's none of your fucking business what I'm doing on my own property. You fucking suck it. All right. All right. There's people looking over there. I'm not a people person, if you haven't already guessed. Okay. I think you guys are great. So we're running classified material now. So we'll see how that works out. Got to remember too, this isn't just your average sediment in your river. This is very heavy clay. Okay, so here's the next lot of material coming through. I'll let that feed itself in. See what happens. Here it comes. I'm liking the action. Just so much minimal water. I think it's working pretty well. What I'm thinking is, let's get this trommel angle a little bit higher, a little bit steeper, next time. I don't really have a means to do that right now, but we're gonna work on that. But hey, getting them rocks clean, that's what you want. Yeah, much higher water flow we need. I'm gonna keep feeding it. Okay. And we're going to have a look and see just what comes out of this line. Yeah, I do think we need to only run classified material. Because you got to remember, we're working with DC, not AC or petrol, so you have to really factor these things in. And I would really prefer to have a bucket in my hands rather than a gold pan right now. Working pretty darn well, wouldn't you say? We get that angle right, it's going to be on. It's not going to take that much. It won't take that much to get that angle correct. You know? But yeah, want to run classified material, really nothing bigger than that. And no retention rings at this stage. We haven't got enough water for that. No, there's no way right now I'm going to be bringing this trommel down the creek. No way. It'll get swept away. It's too heavy at this stage. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and keep working along this pay line. There we go. I called it pay. Stop that. Shut up. Great thing is, this unit is good because you can just leave it running and forget about it while you're off doing other things. So, the one before that, we couldn't do that. For a first run, I think we're doing pretty darn good. Here we go, next lot of material. This is good because that's literally a full pan full that just went in. If I can run this pan by pan, oh buddy, you can bet we're going to get a good recovery, and it's going to go quick. Come on, darling. It's all right. Come on, baby. You're doing good. It's clearing out. It's going to be all right. Okay, so feeling pretty good about it. Okay. Whew. I can't see what's happening. What's happening up there, guys? Is the trommel still going? I think she is. Can't hear anything or see anything. I'm way down here in the creek. We can at least run pan by pan. It's done its job. I'm happy with that. I'm realizing too, this material certainly needs to be screened down and just needs to be pre-wet. We need to give the centrifuge every opportunity to run as smooth as it possibly can. So far, I think we're doing pretty good. Going pan by pan. Have that clearing out just as we need it to, just as we intended. So that's another pan there. Let's go back and get more. Okay. Okay. This is what, pan 3? Pan 4 maybe? Okay, next pan. I think we're pretty much doing exactly what I predicted was going to happen. We're able to go pan by pan. I'm happy. And look, I want you to look. Look at this. You don't think that so that little bit of water is going to get it clean, but look how clean these rocks are. You can do it. Minimal water. You don't need a whole bunch of water. You can do it. And we're actually clearing off pretty well. These mats down here that are attached to the screen, they're clearing off reasonably well. That's good enough for me. All right. Thank you all so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. And after maybe another 5 or 10 of these, we're going to go and check the mats and see what kind of gold we got. Now what I'm going to do, just so I'm not saying gold, I'm going to say let's check the G. Okay? We're going to check the G, right? Cool. Because it's all about the G, the OG. So let's get to it. All right, let's go get some G-force. Navita. All right. Okay. Never imagined I'd be working uphill with one of these trommels. You have to come up with a word for that too. Should we call it a T? I don't know. Let's just call it stealthy for now until we can figure out some other word. Okay. I mean, ideally, we'd be having that down here in the creek working. And no doubt, for the next while, we will. So we can get all the G we can carry. Alright. We're going pan by pan. Whatever we can carry. And for anyone tuning in at the moment, you might be wondering, well, what the hell are you doing? You're running all that material out onto the ground. Well, that's where you're wrong. We've got these little mats attached to the screen, which is going to allow us to trap the G to the M with pretty good accuracy. So. Okay. Now while this is doing this, I'm going to get some more brush so we can be a little bit more inconspicuous. Having a lovely day. I really am. It's such hard work, but I love it. I love the challenge. I love the risk. I love the whole thing about it. You know? Now what I want to see is shaking that material down. Not quite. That's okay. We'll fix that. See, we got this little shutter in the trommel that gives it a bit of a bang here and there. And that banging is going to shift that material down. You'll see in just a moment. It'll shift it down into the centrifuge. And we'll be getting some nice action happening in there. I like that. I like that it's just gently wearing things away. Obviously, we're going to run a little bit faster than that, and whenever we do get another pump, it's maybe twice the capacity, it's going to be pushing material through there at a very fast rate. Not too fast, though. You want liquefaction to happen before it even hits the trommel. Liquefaction and stratification that's happening inside the trommel and breaking up of the molecular bits of clay and things like that. That's what you want. So, but it's all it's got to be done gradually because that gives you the best result. I'm going to give it a little bit of a hand here. Get them rocks really clean. And that slight shutter is going to gradually work that down. We want it to work it down a little bit quicker, though. We're not going quite as fast as I want it to. So I'm going to give it some help. Looking mighty good. And hey, you know, later on, if we can live with that, we can live with it being like this, we can run the trommel a lot longer. You know, if we can be happy with just a little bit of water coming through there, we're going to be doing all right. And so far, look at that. Clean. You can eat off that. So just goes to show, don't let them tell you that your thing's not going to work unless there's something detrimentally wrong with your design. And obviously you want to research all this beforehand, but don't let them tell you that you have to have this kind of pump or this kind of pump or this kind. No, you don't need that. You just need to run things within a balance, and then you can do anything. Okay, so this is what, pan 5 maybe? We'll call it pan 4. Working it down. The good thing too is because we're going slow, I know that G is going to be collecting on those mats, and it ain't going to be falling off. At least not very much of it. So this might prove itself to be very effective indeed in eliminating the need for a sluice box altogether. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that just be a breath of fresh air? There's so many prospectors out there. So many gold miners out there. G miners. Right? Could be. Could be the answer everyone's been looking for. But again, you saw it here first. You saw it here first on Soundacre's studio. Sure that material is good and classified down. Okay, I'll take this pan up there. I'm going to run it through the trommel. Run it through Mr. T. I might even just call it Mr. T. Mr. T had gold. I think that'll work. Can I call it Mr. T? I pity the fool who don't call it Mr. T. All right, here's pan number 4. Just going to shove it all down there. See if we can handle. I need it to be strong. The centrifuge to be strong as it can be for that motor. And there's something too I'm noticing. See, we just stalled there. I'm noticing about the balance of material. If we're further up front, it seems to be wanting to struggle a bit more. So we might need to think about possibly, come on baby. Maybe I shouldn't call it Mr. T if I'm going to call it baby. Maybe it needs to be a female. Nah, I don't want to be calling Mr. T a baby. So let's see. What should we call you? What shall we call you, Miss Trommel? I don't want to call you something derogatory, like Gold Hole or something like that. Maybe we'll think of another name for you. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Now, one thing about this trommel, which I'm realizing, is that even though that we're clearing off, there are going to be little particles of G sitting inside those ripples, inside the paddles. So what I might do is I might get some water and give it a bit of a flush out, just up the top there, give it a nice flush, just to flush those out. So let's do that periodically. Okay, so maybe I'll call her Goldilocks, although that sounds a bit weird. I'll just, here we go, big flush of water. Maybe I'll call it Flo. You like that, Flo? Florence? maybe something a little less antiquated. We'll think of something. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and run pan number 5. And I just found some, looks like schist aggregate, so I might show you that in a minute. Schisty type material is always fun to find because it makes you think that there might be an outcrop nearby, and there might not be, but it's always fun to see those things. And some of this stuff is actually, some of this quartz here I'm looking at is actually suspect for G as well. Got these little contact points in them, schisty type stuff, so they might be detectable with the metal detector, with the G detector. Okay, so this is what, pan number 5? Okay, let's get it screened down. 1/2 inch material, 1/4 inch material. Okay, so we're coming up with pan number 5 here. Eventually, we're going to make a conveyor belt. It will be able to be ran the very same process. So here we go. Here's pan number 5. We've got to be wary too, this belt at some stage is going to be stretching out a little bit, so you might have to snug things up a little bit more. Okay, here we go. Pan number 5 going in now. Looking mighty good. Look at that. Running nice and flat. Nice. I appreciate everybody being here today. Thank you so much. I really do. Makes me happy. And you know what? I'm actually glad. I'm glad that it didn't go with a much smaller screen. Because let me tell you, I think we'd be running into problems by now with it clogging up. So we've gone with the 5mm screen on this one. And that's actually taken that entire pan without struggling, so we must be doing something right. One thing I do want to maybe look at is getting a little spray pack up here, so I can just spray the screen down so everything's falling down. But then again, because we got these mats up here collecting everything before it falls out, we might not have to worry about that. We're trying to work smarter and not harder, you know. But you know what the best part about all this is? I can give all this to my ex, and she can make a gravel path with that, or anything. And we even got finer material here we can possibly use for a sand arena for the horses. So we're going to use everything and not waste anything. Okay, so while I'm down there getting more material in the creek, this thing should be clearing itself off pretty well. And then I'm going to run a few more pans, and then we're going to check these mats and see what we got. Stick around if you like, and I really do appreciate your likes and support. wonderful, wonderful community. I want to give a shout out to India, Pakistan. Shout out to everywhere in the world, USA, Singapore, China, Russia, Japan, Korea, North and South, to Africa, Zimbabwe, to Hawaii, to England, this is for you all, Germany, to Thailand, to Sweden, okay, here we go. This will be pan number 6 of the notorious bend. Here we go, pan number 6. All in, we're going all in. My friends, if this thing can handle an entire pan, a Garrett Super Sluice pan, I'm happy. You can do that at one time, I'm totally happy. Because it's just me doing this, right? I'm a solo operator. So, if it can do that, there'll be no trouble. Now, some of you might be saying to yourself, well, what about all this stuff here? You know, what about all the stuff that's coming off the end? This stuff I can detect. That's not really a problem. And no doubt, yes, you're actually very right. There will be still some fine gold in this stuff. But what I'm looking for is a machine that can get at least 60 to 70% of the gold, and the other stuff that falls out, I can simply just run that back through the machine or just pan it out or run it through another cleanup sluice. I'm not worried. It's not going anywhere. The gold's not going nowhere. Oh, I said the word again. So the G is not going anywhere. Okay? So the cool thing is, too, I can just run the pan directly under here and I can see what our losses are like just right on the spot. Okay? Have a quick look. See what we're losing out of the trommel. If anything, we might not be losing nothing. It's always important to check these things, though. Okay. Have a quick look. Okay, so we're certainly not losing nothing. Not losing one speck. So those mats, they're catching everything, which is fantastic. Now I tell you what, folks, I'm going to have to stop the machine. We're going to have to check these mats because I'm nearly out of battery. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to stop the machine. Our phone's nearly about to run out. Okay. The good thing is we got a fresh supply of water coming up, so we can do all the panning from here. Now the way we take the mats off is pretty much we take a tire rubber strap, courtesy of India. Thank you very much. And we'll just let the first one fall down like it just did. And then we're going to carefully remove the other ones, slip it off the side there. Slip this one off the end there, and the one on the top. And we're going to have a look and see what these mats have caught. They might not have caught anything. Let's just carefully pop them here. Get this first one going. The hope is that everything's getting caught. Everything heavy is getting caught on these mats. I'm going to try to be quick about this too because my phone battery is going to die very soon. I don't want you guys not to be able to see the gold. Mat number 2. Clear these off as well. Mat number 3. And then finally number 4. Okay, so let's just see what the mats caught just running at the pace we're running. Remembering this is going to be revolutionizing how the way we run trommels. Get out of there. Now when you work in concentrates, you may already know all this, you just want to go slow. There's no big rush, and really you want to have that submerged underwater, but because we're kind of pressed for time, I'm going to show you this way, which is not the ideal way. You want to have that material submerged to where your gold is constantly falling out of suspension and hitting the bottom of that pan. And working that material all the way down as much as you can. Heavy stuff falls to the bottom, light stuff flows off the top. Okay, now I got this feeling that I'm going to be made a goose out of, and there's not going to be anything in here. I always have that worry, but we're going to just take a quick peek here. Are we there? Are we there? Yes, we're there. And it looks as if I've been made a goose out of. Hold on. Probably got a little bit too much material in there. It's either that or most of the gold sitting, most of the G is sitting still in there. These are always very important tests that you have to conduct. Okay. Okay, I am seeing one speck in there. So know that I'm still on it. We might be just a little bit too high off the bedrock. But we're going to keep working it down. It could also be that it's still all stuck inside the trommel. So what I might do, if you don't mind, I'm going to sit my pan there. We're going to run some water through it, some gushes of water, and see if we can wash that out. I'll turn the trommel back on for a little bit and see if we can just wash it directly into the pan. Because I got this feeling, because we got a flat trommel, probably going to get some stuck up in there. All right, I'll be right back. Okay. So here we come with some gushes of water to help flush out the G. I know we got some sitting in there. Here we go. It should be flushing something down in there. Because you got to remember, gold is difficult to move for a reason. It's 19.3 or something times heavier than water. So it's going to stay. It's going to want to stay on that flat surface, especially if there's things to trap it in, like those paddles. And this will give me further insight on how I can possibly set up the trommel a little bit better next time. Because you see, we got to flush every little tiny speck. You probably can't see from there, but we have a closer look here. All that light material that's flushing off, that's telling me that's light stuff, right? Gold isn't going to want to flush off that easy. So I'm pretty sure we're trapping something in there that we shouldn't be. So here's another big gush. And hopefully that'll get it all. All right. I still see a bit of material on the inside there, just very minute. I'm wondering if I'm not looking at little particles of gold, which I could be. I very well could be. Hell, for all I know, it might be sitting up at the very top still. You just wouldn't know. This is why having adequate water flow so you got to have your adequate water flow to make sure the material is pushed out. Okay, now I'm going to sit a mat underneath the barrel, try and trap whatever else comes out of there, and we're going to have a look and see if indeed we did wash any more gold out, any more G out. A bit more water. This is not a very reliable way to pan yet again. So, okay, let's have a look. Okay, yep, so I was right. Now I'm hoping you guys can see this, but you probably can't. Before we only had one speck up there. We've now got one. There's actually 2 or 3 more down over here in the corner here. So this shows me, I'm sorry you guys can't see that properly. It shows me we are definitely indeed trapping gold inside the trommel. So the only cure for that, there's actually 2, is that we might just have to run the trommel at a very steep tilt, or not very steep, but just a little bit more, maybe 10 degrees instead of 5 degrees or 3 degrees, whatever it is. That'll help the gravity to pull the fine gold out of the trommel. But it'll also help, the other thing would be to have a higher volume of water. So periodically what I can do is I can take my jerry can here and give it some flushes every now and again. Okay. Well, folks, I really do appreciate you all tuning in for the first ever run on the creek for the trommel, the new trommel. And I hope it's been informative, and I hope you've had some time to maybe think about your own machines and what you might like to build. And maybe you've drawn some inspiration, and maybe you can build one 10 times better than I have. And if you have any ideas on what might help this one out, drop me a line. Just leave a comment on one of my videos and let me know what you think, because I'm always open to other people's opinions on how things could actually work a little bit better. What might be some small things I can do, inexpensive things I can do to make it a little bit better. So definitely drop me a line. Now, one thing I'm going to show you really quick, straight away, that confirms my my theory about this is, and I'm going to have to stop the machine to show you. If you have a look here, just on the inside lip right there, I guarantee you that some of that is going to be gold. So what we might do before we end this stream, so I'm going to take my finger, just go along right through here, and we're going to see if I don't pull out a few specks. Just on my dad burned finger. Also, have a look here. I'm not saying that is gold, but I'm saying there might just be a little bit stuck on there. Just in that tiny little riffle. That certainly isn't. It doesn't mean the rest of this ain't. These are little things you have to pay very close attention to when building these things, because you don't want a machine that's going to trap gold. You know something? I think it's going to be just fine, simply because we know that a higher volume of water is required. Above all else, higher volume of water, steeper angle to allow the material to clear out. And the steeper the angle that we run, we're going to have to pop in this guy because we want a little bit of fluid retention. Not too much, because you got to remember there's a weight ratio that you have to stick in line with for the engine. She's doing the best she can, but you got to give her some help. So, about that high, about a finger width high is fine. Just a bit of liquid retention, water retention. Okay, so we did get a very tiny, minute little speck of gold today. We only did run 5 pans though, but also we're not far down enough on the overburden to reach the bedrock. So once we reach the bedrock, we'll be coming back with some probably pretty decent looking stuff. Now before this phone shuts down, which it's about to, I'm going to show you all what we do normally get out of this crate. And just gonna let this stuff go. I know there's gold in it, but I'll be coming back for it, so don't worry. You guys have been so good, and you have given me so very many likes and appreciation. I'm going to show you just a little bit of a couple days work in this crate. Here we go. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I'm hoping for the gold price now, what we've had to pan out just with this stuff, we're going to be multiplying by orders of magnitude with this fella, or this gal. I think it's a gal. So, I really do hope you enjoyed the stream today. And we'll be back maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. And we're going to be able to get to see probably a whole lot more of the shiny stuff. And it all adds up, folks. Don't get discouraged. If you do get discouraged, allow yourself to be discouraged and feel it. Know what it is, but don't give up. Get back out there. Think of something else. Make another machine. Work smarter, not harder. And eventually, you might find yourself wound up with a wonderful treasure. It's all there. It ain't going nowhere. You just got to get out there and put in the effort. And you will do it. I believe in you. Well, my friends, I do thank you all so much, very much for being here and offering me your support, your love and your likes, and you sticking around. Let's just pick that up for a second. It's all in your hands. The choices you make today will affect the rest of your life. So get out and make some good ones. Thank you all so much. You have a beautiful evening. and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.